guys, welcome to my channel. It's Haley. Today I'm going to be talking about my December wrap up and my January TBR. I know this is kind of late to the game, but it's just what it is. It is what it is. I was thinking about not doing this, and then I was like, no, there's some books in this pile that I really want to talk about, so we're just doing it. We're going with it. Also, I'm not sure how the sliding is working, so I don't know. Bear with me. I'm still figuring things out, but anyways, so I'm just gonna get into it. So I'm gonna start with the books that I read in December, in no particular order. So the first book I finished was City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare, which is the fifth book in the series. I can't even remember where I'm at anymore. I'm really loving this series. I can't really go into much about this series, and I think everybody knows what the series is about because pretty much everybody on BookTube has either read it at one point or another. But it follows like the Shadow Hunters and their Shadow World. Shadow World. It's continuing the story of Clary and Jace and all of these characters. And I liked this book, but it was really long in places, and there was a lot of parts where I was just like, I don't care. And I don't really like Simon. He's just not an interesting character to me in a way. So there's a lot of Simon in this book, and there's just a lot of like like hundreds of 100 pages of just like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? It was just really like kind of drawn out, I felt like. But once you get to like part 3, or a little bit before part 3, it's just like boom, 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 and it's like so good, and I was like so into it. And so I don't know. I just thought I really liked it, and I don't remember how many stars I gave it, but it was kind of slow in the beginning, first part. But yeah, that was that book. The next book that I finished in December, trying to remember, is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which is the first book in, I believe it's a trilogy. And this follows the main character, Kel, who can jump, it's like 3 different Londons. I think it's just 3. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's all these different Londons, and he's the only one, or one of the few people who can still jump through the worlds. And it has a bunch of magic in it, and it's fantasy, and I really enjoyed the writing. I thought it was really good and really just like interesting. I felt like the worlds were all interesting, and the characters were interesting, and overall I really enjoyed this, and I think I will continue with this series. The next book that I read was also another start to a series, and it's Maggie Stiefvater's The Raven Boys. And I've been hearing so much buzz about this for such a long time, and I think this is another book that a lot of people have already read, because I hear about it a lot. But this follows Blue, and she like meets the Raven Boys, and she comes from a witch family, but she's not a witch. And I just thought this whole story was really interesting and unique. I liked the dynamic of the characters. I really enjoyed it. Sometimes I realized during this book, a lot of books recently I've just started skimming, and this one you can't skim. Like, I was like, wait, what's happening? But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good book, and I'm really excited to continue on with this series. It was just like an interesting concept, and not something that I've really read before. I was just like really interested in this book, so it was really good. Another book that I read in December was If I Stay by Gail Foreman. This is a book that I've had on my shelves forever. And so at the end of the year, I was like, I'm going to get through the books on my shelves. And I'm trying not to buy much books right now, because I have so many books on my shelves I have to get to. Like, my physical TBR is like 180 books. Like, I'm not even kidding. So I'm trying to like get it down, and I'm actually in the mood to like read a lot of the books and check them off, which doesn't usually happen. So I'm gonna ride that wave and read some books that I own. But this is one that I read, and I was just like, no. And I had bought it in a box set. It came in a box set with this one and the sequel, which is called Where She Went, I think. I really enjoyed the movie. It's been a couple years since I watched it, but I really liked it. I'm the kind of person who watches a movie first and then reads the book, because I just like it that way. I know a lot of people aren't that way, and a lot of people say that's wrong, but that's the way I like to watch movies and read books. I like to have sort of a visual before I go into the book and kind of know what the story is. But so I watched the movie and I really liked it. In this, I just didn't like it at all. I had a really hard time getting through it. It's only 200 pages, like 230 pages. And I just had, like, it was an easy read, I guess. Like, I read it quickly, so it wasn't hard to get into in that way. But it's just like, first of all, the subject matter is kind of dark and depressing. In the movie, it didn't bother me. And this, it was just like, like, so, you know, her parents get in a car, they die at the beginning of the book, and then she has to decide whether or not she's gonna stay or not, because her whole family has been killed. Yeah, so she has to decide if she wants to stay or not, and her boyfriend is, like, supposed to be the person who wants her to stay, like, or will keep her in the world, but he's just, like, not a great guy, and their relationship is, like, kind of toxic. I felt like I didn't believe that he was someone that would keep her here. Like, I was like, and I didn't believe that their relationship would last past her graduating high school. Because he just seemed like a jerk. He didn't really want her to succeed. He was just a jerk. And I was just like, why am I rooting for this guy? For her to live for this guy? I was just, the whole story was just like, meh. I just didn't like it. And I was like, I'm not even going to read the sequel, because I was like, I almost DNF'd it in the middle. Like, I was just like, yeah, so I read it. It was just not great. If you have different opinions about this book, you can let me know, because maybe there's something I missed. And the last book that I read in December is The Magnolia Story by Chip and Joanna Gaines. This is another one that I've owned for like a year, and so I was trying to get it finished. In the wintertime, I like to read like autobiographies or biographies or like true stories. And so like last year or 2 years ago at this time, I read Drew Barrymore's Wildflower, and I just like this time of year, something about it just makes me want to pick up something and read something inspiring. This was really, really inspiring. So good. So much wisdom. They are the fixer-upper couple. They do the fixer-upper show, and I follow them, and I really, really like them. And this book just had a lot of wisdom in it, and just, like, practical wisdom, and, like, practical advice, and, like kind of, like, showing you that they're not, like, special people. They're just hard workers, like, and you can obtain their level of success if you're willing to put in the work. And I just feel like the lessons learned from this book were just so good, and it's a quick read. It was, like, 200 pages. And I just felt like in it was just like such like wise words. It was funny, it was sweet, it was just so cute, and I really, really loved it. So that was the last book I finished in December. Now we're gonna move on to my January TBR. So I have quite a few books on it, and it might be a little ambitious. And my TBRs, I have a hard time doing TBRs because I'm a mood reader, but I have some books in the stack that are set kind of in a way because I'm reading them with a group of people or a friend, and the other books are just like things I hope to get to, and I may or may not. So I just preface this by saying that. The first book on my list to finish in January is City of Heavenly Fire, and this is the 6th book in the Mortal Instruments series, and by Cassandra Clare. And again, it's just like continuation of the story. And look how big that book is. Like, it's huge. It's like 700 pages. Like, and usually in the Cassandra Clare paperbacks, there's like a bunch of like excerpts in the back. There's no I can't even say that word. There's like not even any excerpts. It's just like all book. Maybe just like one chapter. And ooh. But yeah, so look at how huge that book is. But I hope to finish this in January so I can be done with this part of the Mortal Instruments world anyways, and move on to like other books in the same world. Next book, I'm reading this with a friend. So I'm hoping that I can knock this out in this month. The book I'm reading with my book club is called Frozen Tides by Morgan Rhodes, and I believe this is the 4th book in the Fallen Kingdom series, and I'm already like partway through. And so I hope to finish this. But yeah, so this is just the 4th book in the Fallen Kingdom series. Okay, other books I hope to get to. One of my goals for this year is to read this book, which is The Chronicles of Narnia, C.S. Lewis, The Magician's Nephew, the 1st book in the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe series, and Chronicles of Narnia series. I read Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe like a long time ago when I was a kid, but I never got to the rest of the series, and I never read the 1st book. So I think I might be in the mood to read this month. Maybe we'll see if I get to it. Yeah, I have a friend who really wants to talk about the series with me, so I really want to like read it and know what it says and get through it. And so that's one of my goals this year, is to at least start it and maybe like get through the whole series. We'll see. And then another goal this year is to like finish or continue on in the Percy Jackson series, because I read the first one and then I never picked the second one up, and that happens to me a lot. Like, I'll read the first book, like I read the first book in the Harry Potter series and I never picked it up again, and I don't want that to happen with this book. I really want to continue on with the series, so I'm hoping to finish this book this year, but I want to try to get to it this month. And it's kind of just going along with the whole system of like reading books I actually own, and so these are kind of books that I specifically picked out in my year-end goals to finish. So yeah, I hope I'm maybe thinking of it's probably an either or. Like, I might pick up this one or I might pick up this one. I don't know if I will pick up both. We'll see. Then another book that I just found when I was rearranging my shelves is Cheaper by the Dozen by Frank B. Gilberth Jr. and Ernestine Gilberth Carey. And I didn't realize this was a memoir. And so, like, I'm super fascinated about this, and I'm, like, super curious. If you haven't seen the movie, like, Cheaper by the Dozen, they have 12 kids, and it's kind of, like, a funny movie. But people are saying the book, like, on Goodreads, people are talking about how the book is so much better. And I've got this in my Easter basket, like, one year and never touched it. But now I'm, like, super curious to read it, because it's a memoir. And I was like, what? So, yeah. I might get to that one, I might not. And then I'm currently reading Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Scalco. Hopefully I said that right. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's about this girl who's like basically trying to find Jack the Ripper. It's like a Jack the Ripper retelling. And I am really enjoying it so far. I hope to finish this in January. So there you have it. There's my December wrap up and my January TBR. If you've read any of these books and you want to give me your comments below, I would love to read them. And yeah, just let me know your thoughts. If you have any book suggestions for me based off this pile. Obviously not probably based off If I Stay, because that was kind of a bummer. But if you have any comments, leave them below. I'd love to chat. And I hope to be bringing another video soon. See you later, guys.